Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Recently I've been watching some 1080p HD movies from Amazon Prime on this television Q8fn, and I have to say I'm very impressed the way this television it's upscaling this 1080p source. Now, please do keep in mind this is a very good source. What you're seeing here, it's a very good 1080p native source from Amazon servers. This is a DreamWorks 20th Century Fox film directed by Steven Spielberg. Tom Cruise is in it. Minority Report in 2002. And I have to say that I'm very impressed with the picture quality and the upscale that this television produces. And this is why I keep telling people if you have a really good TV, it doesn't matter even if you don't have HDR turned on, even if you're not watching in HDR 4K UHD, you're still gonna have a good picture quality. That's because you got a really good TV with a very high DCI-P3 color accuracy. Now, this movie has a lot of that noir look and feel to it because this is what Janusz Kaminski, director of photography, who worked in Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, he wanted this movie to have this type of noir look and feel to it. But it really looks good, man. The way the color pop here, the way uh, the deep dark levels are aligned, all of this stuff, it's pretty darn good for a 1080p movie. Here, I'll show you a little close up where Tom Cruise faces it comes into the camera so you guys will see a little bit better. Now, I wish that I can show you this movie in motion flow. Samsung really has a good motion flow. Not only is this movie going to have the best possible motion flow, the best possible soap opera effect, but at the same time, the deep dark levels are really aligned here because I'm using a local dimming set to high, and this television has a really aggressive local dimming, which helps with a much better deep dark levels. Okay, I'm not using any tricks with the exposure light. I know there's somebody out there who's going to say, you're using tricks with the exposure light. No. People need to understand I'm not doing these videos to show you, hey, look, visually, hey, here it is. I do these videos to report to you what I'm seeing because I have the television. I have this movie and it's running in 1080p, upscaled to 4K, and I can tell you what I'm seeing. And if you choose not to believe me, if you choose not to agree with this, that's okay. You don't have to watch this video. I don't pressure anybody to subscribe to me. In all of my 3,300 videos that I have created, find me a video where I said subscribe. Not once did I ever say subscribe to me. So it's a free will. Either you like something or you don't. I'm just here to give you my opinions and what I'm seeing. Take it or leave it. Now, like I said, please keep in mind this is the way Janusz Kaminski intended this movie to look. There's a certain noir. Do you guys know what the noir is? Noir films, look it up and you will understand what I'm talking about. But clearly you can see the detail on Tom Cruise's face, a little bit of reddish here, a little bit of a pimple actually, as a matter of fact. A little bit of, scarfed beer there, here and there. All right. So very, very amazing upscale. This movie was shot in 35 millimeter, same 35 millimeter that Saving Private Ryan was shot, and also artificial intelligence. Steven Spielberg, he loves his 35 millimeter cameras, so He loves film. He's not a fan of digital. Like I said, if you have a really good TV, this is why you want to buy a really good TV. This is the benefit of having a really good TV. It's not just watching the 4K HDR on it. It's also that everything else that you watch on this TV will look better because you have unbelievably great color accuracy. No other TV has a better color accuracy than this TV. Q8fn and Q9fn this year. These two televisions, Q9fn and Q8fn, they have the best color accuracy. Along with Z9D. I would put Q9fn, Q8fn, and Z9D on that same ballpark. Now, please do keep in mind that what I'm seeing, it's 100 times better in terms of deep dark levels, white bright levels, color, detail. All of that stuff looks better in person. You know, I'm not doing these videos, as I said earlier, to show you, hey, look, there it is, look at it. No, you can't possibly see what I'm seeing through a camera, especially not so professional, expensive camera. Even if I had a professional, expensive camera, let's say I had a red camera, the one that Ridley Scott's using, still you wouldn't be able to see what I'm seeing. You gotta see it in person. Again, let me repeat this one more time. I do these videos to tell you what I'm seeing. I'm not doing these videos to show you. Here it is. That should be clear for those of you who are still confused about what my channel is about. I'm not a professional, nor did I ever claim to be a professional. I'm somebody who has a hobby, who likes television, has the passion for the televisions, and wants to enjoy the best possible entertainment on the television. I have my opinions. I do post my opinions. You don't have to agree with these opinions, but you can respect them, just like I can respect your opinion. And even with a movie like The Shining here, I'm still impressed by the color, by the sharp detail, the upscale. Honestly, this television really has a great upscale. This looks, I don't think you're going to get a better deal even if they released a 4K version, 2K intermediate to 4K version. I don't think you're going to find that much of a drastic difference to what I'm seeing right now. This is really done beautifully. And it really comes down to a great television. This is why you want to buy something high end. This is why I tell people, yes, there's TCL, but you don't expect your TCL R617 to give you that top of the line picture quality, to give you that top of the line upscale. There's a reason why it's a budget TV. Of course, what that TV is doing for the price is pretty amazing. Okay, but when you compare that to this, when you do a comparison, when you look at this television and what this television is doing in terms of movies, they're in 1080p being upscaled to 4K, and in terms of very aggressive local dimming, photon technology, which is quantum dot, tiny little microscopic cells. They're put behind the LCD panel, and they emit a much better light of color, and you're going to get the best possible white bright level color as well, on top of the red, green, blue, and yellow You guys can look this up, learn about the quantum dot technology and how that works. I did my research. I listened to various of different podcasts. I read books about it. I do my research, and quantum dot technology will produce the best possible color accuracy. OLED will produce the best possible deep dark levels and viewing angles, but don't expect OLED to produce the best possible color accuracy. Why? Because it cannot get bright as much as the QLED can. That quantum dots are being emitted with 1500, 1600 nits of light that's beaming through the quantum dots. Quantum dots are photons. They're little photons. That's what they are. It's a quantum dots. Okay? And they're beaming through these photon quantum dot cells, and they're emitting these colors in the highest possible peak brightness. Okay? But I gotta say, I'm also impressed with the motion flow. The motion flow on this television, it's really top notch. Better than Sony's. You don't see any judder. You don't see any blur. It is really, really done well. And when I say really done well, I do mean it. It's really, really done well. Let's go and check out some other movies like Space Odyssey 2001. I want to check some of these older movies and, you know, look into it, see how they look on this television. People been asking me about this, what's going on with the movies? How come you're not doing the movies anymore? Now, I know that there is a 4K HDR Blu-ray version of this movie. The movie is sold out. I've been trying to get it. As soon as it becomes available, I will buy it. This movie, it's been sold out on 4K UHD Blu-ray ever since it got released a week ago. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing 1080p upscale to 4K just to see how well this television uh, process that upscale with the quantum dot technology, commonly known as QLED. Why they call it QLED? Because the quantum dots are being backlit by the LEDs through the photon cells, quantum dot cells, and that color it's emitting through those quantum dot photon cells. I mean, for a movie that's super, super old, okay, we're talking 50 years, 50, 53, 55, something like that. Maybe even more. 50 years, okay, 54 years. We're talking about a very, very old movie. And then you look at it right here and you look at uh, the color accuracy that's being presented here. When you look at the upscale from the 1080p source, keep in mind this is a very good 1080p source that's being upscaled. It looks amazing. I wish that I can play this for you. I cannot play it because if I do, the Hollywood and studios will notify the YouTube, and then I will be, forced to have a copyright. And even here, look how beautifully the deep dark levels are being presented here for such an old movie. Obviously, I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, and this is pretty darn good for a 1080p movie being upscaled to 4K with quantum dot colors and very aggressive local dimming, and of course 1600 nits pico brightness. I know people say 1500, but in all the tests that I have seen from our things and everybody else, it's 1600. can go to 1600, which is pretty darn good. Especially in this scene. I know to you it might seem like it's oversaturated. It's not oversaturated. It just seems that way when you are watching it through a camera lens, when you're watching it through a video. In person, this is stunning. It's a deep dark. This is not looks to you maybe like an orange. This is deep dark color, and the sharp detail here. It's truly amazing, man. I really want to compare the Blu-ray version to 4K version of this movie. I really want to see how much does that HDR adds to it, or that Dolby Vision. I don't know if it has Dolby Vision or not. I really want to do a comparison just to see how much that HDR helps here. But I don't think we'll see a drastic difference, guys. And here, maybe you can a little bit see how beautifully the colors being represented here, from the light blue, dimmed blue, red vibrant. I mean, this is what quantum dot technology does, and that's why they call it QLED. Because it's a quantum dot photon microscopic little cells emitting behind the LED lights, and they're hitting those lights. Those LED lights are beaming through quantum dots, and they're emitting that perfect color, that perfect spectrum of colors, if you will, along with the 1600 nits of peak of brightness. All of this stuff you guys can research. Go into Google, learn about the photon, learn about these microscopic little quantum dot cells and how they work. You can learn all of this. It's just not me saying it. This is something you guys can Google and research it. And even here in a distance, you can see how beautifully that dynamic color and the aggressive local dimming. This is a letterbox, widescreen letterbox, and just look how beautifully it's being represented here. There's a reason why this TV, it's highly regarded by a lot of people. There's a pretty good reason for it. And that's why I call it a really well balanced TV. I will have a review coming up, hopefully before Thanksgiving, or maybe before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Eve, maybe Black Friday. I'll do, most likely Black Friday, I will do a review of this TV. It'll be 43 minutes. I'll explain everything to you, and I will give you all the details about this TV, and I will tell you and show you why it is the most balanced TV. I don't call it the best, I call it the most balanced TV that I personally have owned. And even here, I can see a nice dynamic in picture. You can see the reflection of the light beaming. They're using a fluorescent, vibrant blue light, and then, of course, the red, vibrant fluorescent light out next to the cockpit. This movie, even after 50 years, what Stanley Kubrick has created was really ahead of its time. This movie was ahead of its time. And still, after 54 years, it still stands as one of the great sci-fi movies ever created, in my opinion. A true masterpiece. All right, so this is Aliens, James Cameron Aliens in 1080p, and even here, that local dimming that I have selected, that aggressive local dimming, really helps this movie, along with the color accuracy. But above all, it's really what really helps. It's a really outstanding. When I say really, I'm emphasizing to come across the point to you to understand that the upscaling on this television, it's really good. The motion flow It's stunning. No judder, no blur reduction, nothing. Smooth as it can be. Now, this is an old movie, but even for an old movie, look at the light reflection, the beam of light, the deep dark levels. My camera obviously cannot depict this, but you'll have to just take my word that this looks pretty amazing for a 1080p movie that's being upscaled to 4K. Now, I'm pretty sure remastered version that James Cameron's going to be working on, hopefully next year, we'll see during the summer, we'll see this movie in hopefully Dolby Vision and a much better HDR remastered. Hopefully they don't do uh, I believe it's called DNR, digital noise reduction. Hopefully they don't use DNR, digital noise reduction. Hopefully they keep. Uh, Maybe he should do a both original version with noise and then one without the noise. And clearly here you can see that noise filter here that's showing up, because this was shot in a, I'm not sure what millimeter camera, but it definitely has that grain. That grain will always be there. Some people love the grain, they don't mind it. I personally enjoy the grain because it shows the original movie. But I don't know if the remastered version will have this noise reduction being implemented, so we'll see. But look, this is very sharp. For 1080p, upscale to 4K, looks super, super, super sharp. I wish that I could play this movie for you. I wish that I had the authority to do so, just so you guys can see how beautiful the motion flow is here. It looks like a soap opera movie. Again, local dimming here, it's really done well. Very impressive. And of course, one of my favorite movies of all time from Ridley Scott, Sir Ridley Scott, Alien. This is where it all started. Ridley Scott is just a true genius of a film director. For nearly now, what, 4 decades, the movies he has made. I mean, him and his brother, although his brother died in 2012, but both him and his brother and Scott Free Production, total geniuses. Um, this is 1080p upscale to 4K and looks stunning. See, this is the whole point. This is why you want to have a really good 4K television. This is why I keep telling people you can expect your video games and your movies to look great if you don't have a really good 4K television. That's just a fact. Believe me when I tell you this. And it's coming from a guy who had a bunch of TVs, including projectors and monitors. And of course, you look at Tom here. Tom Skerritt looks great. And, I'm amazed what I'm seeing right now. I'm amazed. Sharp detail. Upscale's fantastic. Color accuracy. Aggressive local dimming. Oh, can't complain, man. Can't complain. For a movie that's as old as I am, 1979, this looks amazing. And it makes me wonder, are we going to see like a drastic difference with a 2K intermediate to 4K with HDR and Dolby Vision? Is it going to be a drastic difference? That's what I want to see. Hopefully next year they will release this on 4K UHD Blu-ray. Even here, looking at the Nostromo spaceship here, just looks stunning. Look at these deep dark levels. Now, I do have to admit, I do have to agree with Vincentio, yes, I'm agreeing with him now. This does have aggressive local dimming zones. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but it does have aggressive local dimming. That's why the deep dark levels are so deep. And here the reflection of the light and the monitor looking at the Android Bishop for a movie that's 1080p upscaled to 4K here. It's really, really sharp and really, really good, man. Can't complain here. Remember, guys, I am just telling you what I'm seeing. I'm not doing these videos to show you, hey, look, I'm telling you what I'm seeing. I'm using the camera as a credibility to show you that I have a television and I have this movie running at 1080p being upscaled to 4K. And even looking at the console, looking at this console, looking at the monitors and everything around here, it still looks sharp and looks vivid for a 1080p. And this is not even Blu-ray. This is being streamed from Amazon Prime. This is the movie that I purchased. And we got Tom here again. You can see Tom here, the actor, and Tom Skerritt. And look how beautifully the detail it's being upscaled here. Maybe I can bring my camera closer. Truly stunning, man. Truly stunning. Remember, this looks 100 times better in person than what you are seeing through this video. And even here, when they arrive to the planet, to one of these moons, and you barely gonna see any bending light. This is honestly, sometimes I think I'm watching an OLED. That's how aggressive the local dimming zones are. I mean, really. Yeah, this is very sharp. I'm very impressed. Let me tell you something. I'm very impressed with the upscale, number one. Number two, I'm very impressed with the local dimming. And number three, I'm very impressed, obviously, with the color accuracy that this television produces. That's being measured by a DCI-P3 measurements, goes up to 98%, close to 100%. And then the fourth thing that I'm very impressed is motion flow. Motion flow on this Samsung, it's really good. And when I say really good, I do mean it. Really good. So I don't know if there's anything else I can say. I have tested what's now Minority Report. I have tested Aliens, Alien, The Shining, 2001 Space Odyssey. These are all 1080p movies, and they're old movies. And look at, I mean, what I'm telling you, my own two eyes, what I see is truly stunning. And this is why you want to have a really good 4K TV. This is a really well balanced TV. I don't call it the best. There's no such thing as the best TV out there, but this is really well balanced TV. I'm really impressed. I'm very satisfied with what I have purchased with this TV. Definitely one of my favorite TVs this year. So, very impressed. The upscale on this television, it's really, really good. Oh man, it's good. It's almost like you're watching a painting. That's how good it is. That's how sharp it is. So anyway, there you have it, guys. Like I said, impressed what kind of upscaling I'm getting here. It's truly amazing. So there you have it, guys. Well, I know it's a long video, but it has to be half an hour in order for me to do these tests and give you my honest look and opinion on it. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you pretty soon. Take care. Have a good one, though.